Here we have a flow chart which we are testing, we are tracing something. For example, it tells what is the output for the following flow chart for the following inputs. So 20, 30, 40, 50, 10. Okay, the flow chart starts summation equals to 0, counter equals to 0, while the count is smaller than 5. 0 is smaller than 5 or less than 5. Yes, read n. So the first time n is 10. Okay, so the user enters 20. So the user enters 20. Sum, the new sum equals to the old sum, which was 0 plus n. What was the n? 20. So the sum is going to be 0 plus 20, which is going to be 20, and the counter is incremented by 1. So the count is going to be, it was 0, it's going to be 1. 1 is less than 5. Yes, read n. At this time the user enters 30, and the old sum was 20 plus 30 is going to be 50. The new sum is going to be 50, and the count is going to be 2. 2 is less than 5. Yeah, read n. The user enters 40, and the old sum was 50 plus 40 is 90. So the new sum is going to be 90, and the count is going to be 3. 3 is less than 5. Yeah, read n. The n is going to be 50, and the old sum was 90. 90 plus 50 is going to be 140, and the count is going to be 4. 4 is less than 5. Yeah, the user enters this value, which is 10. The old sum was 140 plus 10 is going to be 150, and the summation going to be 150, and the count is becoming 5. 5 is less than 5. No, it is false. So it prints the sum, which is 150, and the flowchart goes to the end. Here we have the post-test repetition. In post-test repetition, at least one statement is executed before the loop starts. Okay, it comes to this point: do something, then checks for some condition. If the condition true, it comes back again. Do it while the condition is true. Here, for example, we are using it as flowchart. It comes to this point, the statement is executed, and then it checks for some condition. If the condition is true, it comes back to the beginning of the statement. It re-executes the statement. It executes the statement again until the condition is true. If it's false, then it's going to the other portion of the program, and we can call those portion of the flowchart all together as one statement. Okay, so the loop body is executed at least once. Why? Because it comes to this point, doesn't check to anything here. It executed this time at the beginning when it comes, when it enters this statement of the flowchart. It executes this one, then checks for something to okay. Okay, here it's the previous example. Sum is 0, counter is 0. Do this one, do this statement. Sum equals to sum plus counter. The new sum equals to the old sum, which was 0 plus counter is 0. So the sum is going to be 0, and counter is increments by 1. While counter is less than 10. 1 is less than 10. Yes, it comes back to the statement. Okay, to the do part of the statement. So it adds this new sum is going to be the old sum, which was 0, plus the counter, which is 1. So the sum is going to be 1. The counter is going to be incremented by 1. It's going to be 2. 2 is less than 10. Yes, it comes back here. So this loop is continuously iterates itself. It continuously executing while this counter becomes 10. 10 is less than 10. No, it comes to this part of the flowchart, and it displays the summation, and then end of the flowchart or the Sudoku. This is the flowchart. Start, sum equals to 0, counter equals to 0. We are doing those two statements. Okay, sum equals to sum plus counter. Counter is incremented by 1. Then checks for the value of the counter if it is less than 10 or not. If it is less than 10, it comes back here. It executes those two parts again. If not, that means it is false, and it goes to this area which prints the summation and end of the flowchart. Here is an in-class exercise. Develop an algorithm, pseudocode, and flowchart for a program to calculate the average of 15 numbers input by the user. Use pre-test loop. So I'm supposed that you have you are going to do it by yourself, and I am expecting you to do it perfectly. If you have any question about those kind of things, you can send me an email. Yeah, and even you need to do it by post test loop again. This is another example. You can do it by yourself. Develop an algorithm and flowchart to print the even numbers between 1 to 50. Use pre-test loop and even post-test loop. Okay, in this point we are letting the user to control a loop. How? Program can be written so that the user input determines the loop repetition. For example, you want a program, and this program to be written in such a way that the user defines how many iterations does this loop execute, how many iterations will be there inside this loop or inside this flowchart. So this is used when the program processes a list of items. For example, you want to process a list of items and you want to know how many, and you know how many items are there in this list, how many items are going to be processed by you. And to do this, you are prompted to enter the number of the iteration to be done before entering into the loop. Here you have an example. For example, the starting loop is 0, but this is the limit. Look, this is the input structure. This is parallelogram shape, is an input shape. You are asked to get to enter the limit, or this is get limit. So you are asked to enter it as an input. So it comes to this point. For example, you are saying 3. You have 4 items. Okay, you have 3 items. Yeah, you are saying 3. 0 is less than 3. Yes, print this one. So the count is becoming 1. 1 is less than 3. Yes, so it prints this one and the count becomes 2. 2 is less than 3. Yes, yes, and it's printing this one and the count is becoming 3. 3 is less than 3. No, it program comes to the end. Look, you iterated this flowchart only 3 times. It starts from 0, 1, 2. Okay, 0, 1, 2. When it comes to 3, the condition is becoming false and it goes to the end of your